Missing someone with all your missing someone.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's episode, I'm going to be doing a color correction on this beautiful client. So originally she had texted me, she wanted to do some underlights with what she had going on, and when she first texted me, she had this color was actually a lot more vibrant. She had a lot more of a teal color, and she said that she went ahead and did like a color remover herself at home, and this is kind of where it left her hair. The color pretty much stained her hair and it really wasn't coming out, I guess. So we're gonna go and work on doing some sort of underlight since that was her original inspo, but I did explain to her if we were going to be doing an underlight as dark as this photo here, that we would have to darken the top, and if she darkened the top she wouldn't be able to lighten it again. Like, she would have to grow all that out, and with the length that she has her hair right now, it would probably take her about 3 years to grow out, and it's just not recommended to lighten the hair after you've darkened it when your hair is already so light. So actually, after the consultation that we had, we decided to not do that. So she didn't really want to darken the top because she didn't want to be fully committed to growing that out and keeping the top part dark, because she knows herself and tends to like to change the color a lot. So I was really glad I brought that up and we didn't go ahead and darken it. So instead we opted to just pretty much highlight her roots and blend out the root, and then we can still give her like an underlight effect by using like 2 different colors. So our goal, instead of doing like the dark on top, we're gonna do as natural as possible on top to cancel out the green, and then keep a brighter tone on the underneath depending on how much green comes out. So the green that she used, she said that she used, I believe it was like an ion blue or blue green from Sally's, and it just, you'll see later in the video as I remove it, it just was really stubborn, and I had a feeling that it really stained her hair pretty good. And what we were working with, we would have to do something more vibrant. I know that picture that she showed us was super platinum and super white, and I had already explained to her that it was probably going to be impossible to get there, even though her ends, like the green on the ends, is pretty light. If that color really did stain the ends of her hair, then it would be pretty much impossible to lift any more of it out other than trying to just cancel it out with color from here on out. So for her highlighting pattern, I am just basically doing slices all over her head because she has really long roots and she wants it nicely blended, and I feel like slices always gives like a really pretty blend. You never see like lines or chunks or anything like that at all, so that is why I opted to do slices. So for my products that I'm using today is the same lightener that I use all the time on pretty much like all of my clients, and that is the Blonde Me Schwarzkopf lightener. I love this lightener because I am most familiar with this lightener. I would say I use it all the time, and I feel like it just gives me a really good lift. I'm just used to the way that this lightener works, so that is why I always gravitate towards it, and I really do love it. So I mixed that, my first bowl, with 6 and 20 just to kind of dilute my formula and make it a little bit weaker, because the rest of the head I always like to use just 20 volume, and that first bowl is always going to be a little bit weaker than the rest of the head just because we start there and there is more hair in the back than there is in the front. So I like the lightener to kind of lift a little bit more even. If I were to just go in with 1 volume, then the bottom back would totally be ready before anything else. Also, so for this color correction, even though we have a few different zones that we're going to be lightening, for example, we're going to be lightening the roots and the ends. So the reason why I'm lightening the roots first is because the roots are going to take the longest. I would say, is naturally like a level 2 or a 3. Her hair texture is more on the medium side, and it's curly, as you can see. So it's going to take a bit of time for it to lift, and so that is why I opted to do the lightening service of her roots first, and then after everything is pretty much the level that I want as far as the roots, that's when I'll go in with some color mover to try and remove some of this ion color that seems to have stained her hair. So yeah, that is another reason why, like, if I have a client who has creative color and I have a feeling that they want to refresh their color at home, which honestly I'm totally not against. The only thing I would be against is if they use the wrong product. For example, like this color or the brand that she used, if it does stain her hair, which it did actually, I would not recommend using this brand because I know that it stains the hair. I know that it's really hard to remove and get rid of. So I would recommend either having your hairdresser or you as a hairdresser make your client like a color balm. So a color balm is basically, I like to use the Pulp-Rite Santa Barbara Intense Repair Mask, and it's basically just like a white mask, and I'll put in some of the Pulp-Rite Semi-Color into it to make like a custom color mask. And that's okay because that easily can be removed with the blank canvas that Pulp-Rite has, because the products that they have, like the colors, the very intensely bright colors, were formulated, and blank canvas was formulated to work and remove, like the blank canvas was formulated to remove those semis specifically. So it's really easy for me to always remove the Pulp-Rite colors. I never feel like it ever really stains the hair this bad, like the other ion colors. I know there's like other brands too that are just really hard to get rid of, or they can either have like a really bad reaction to the lightener. So that's why if you're a client and you don't know this, I would just be really careful with the brand that you use if it's not a professional brand, because to me, honestly, I don't think the brands that Sally's carries, if it's open to like the public and you don't really need a license to buy the products, that it's super, that it's good for your hair, or really professional that most hairdressers use in the salon. Okay, so this is what I lifted her. She actually lifted really well, considering how dark she was. I would say this is like a clean level 9 and 10. And I wanted her to lighten as light as possible to kind of match like the end, so that this kind of all fades out really pretty. And on top of that, we are going for more of a natural tone on the top, so I wanted it to be as light as possible so that it gives me more options. But here you can see that the ends are wet, and you can really see how green the hair is actually as it's wet. When it's dry, it looked a lot lighter, but now that the hair is wet, you can see the green is really dark actually. So I know I said I was going to use the Pulp-Rite blank canvas, but honestly I feel like blank canvas probably wouldn't do too much. It's very gentle and it was meant to remove Pulp-Rite semis. So I'm just going in with some Blonde Me and 20 volume. This is the one that was just kind of sitting out, so it's a bit diluted, I would say, because it's been sitting for a bit. But I wanted to use lightener because even though we are trying to remove the semi color, I do want to brighten the ends as well too. Like if I can shift half a level to a level, because you can see how dark her ends are, and like the green almost looks like a dingy green, and some of parts of her hair almost look like a level 8 or 9 instead of a level 9 and 10. So my intention here was to remove green, but also to lighten the ends. And then I just pretty much let this sit for about like 15 minutes, just kind of kept an eye on it. Maybe I left it on for maybe like 15-20 minutes, but just kept an eye on it, and this is pretty much what it looked like after I kind of blow dried it. So the green is pretty much almost all out, and the ends are super light. So we're going in with the Pulp Bright semis to kind of give her some beautiful sunset color on the underneath. So for my yellow, I just used straight Satire, and then for the red tone, I used Sandstorm and some Cupid. And then for the mid-tone, which is like the orange, I used Desert Sky and some Nuclear with a little bit of Satire. And the way that I'm applying it, since the Underlight is going to have the bright sunset tone, I went ahead and fully blow dried that because the semis work best on dry hair. And I'm applying it here first because this needs to sit on the longest as far as toning wise or color wise. So I'm going in and I've already rooted her whole head, and the way that I like to melt my sunset colors is I will apply each color individually first, and I kind of keep a little space in between each of the colors. I don't like to blend them in just yet. So I'll apply, you can see I'm applying the yellow on the ends, but leaving a little bit of wiggle room, like where the orange meets the yellow, because after I apply the colors, then I go back in and I start blending. And the reason why I do that is because the Pulp Bright semis, because it's conditioner based, once it sits for a few minutes, it kind of really settles in and the hair really absorbs the color. So I want those parts to be super nicely bright, and I don't want it to be like the colors to blend into each other too much. So that is why I wanted to place the colors first and then work on the blend after the colors kind of set in the hair. And then after I applied the semi-color, I went ahead and took her to the bowl and I rooted her with 7-0. And then I applied the rose gold toner and I mixed that 1 to 2 with 6 volume, and then applied it basically where her mids and ends are, where the green is, and it canceled out the green really well and just left her hair kind of like a warmish tone. It's not like the perfect blonde, but I feel like whenever you're canceling out green using any type of toner, it's never going to be completely perfect of a natural tone. You're always going to have some sort of like combination of a bunch of tones as it's canceling out the green. So I always explain to my client that it's not going to look perfectly blonde or perfectly brown, whatever color that you do mix up, if you are putting it right on top of green. But for sure, as this fades out, it's going to fade out into a beautiful blonde and make it a lot easier for me to tone it back to a more natural tone the next time she comes in. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I feel like it turned out so great. She is pretty much on the opposite color spectrum from when she came in. I feel like this was such a total like transformation from green to doing like a blonde tone on top and then doing like a beautiful sunset on the underneath. So as this fades out, the top color, you can see it's kind of warm because of the rose gold canceling out that green. So that's just gonna fade out like into a beautiful like sandy blonde. And then the underneath, where it's that sunset color, the root of it's going to fade pinkish, and then that mid orange and that yellow on the ends is just gonna fade a little bit lighter. But that's pretty much it, and I feel like this is going to fade out beautifully, and she's really going to enjoy the underneath fade out as well too. Alrighty guys, so that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.